Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Classified Reviews. My name is David T. Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave 817. If you would like to see more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I'm David Allen, or if you like, Super Dave. We are here to talk about 148 in the classified line, and that is Leatherneck, the Marine. Really cool jarhead in the G.I. Joe team. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat this morning. We have Woody222. Hey, Woody, thanks for joining us. Good morning. Super Dave. Sup, Super Dave? Woody222. Guess I'm early. I'll come back. No, you're not early. You're all right. Then we have 610 Yojo Daddy. What's up, Super Dave? What's up, Woody, my brother? Yep. Hello, good morning. Morning, Super Dave. Sean Jones, you're right on time today. Morning, Super Dave. Woody, what's up? Everybody's saying hello. Everybody's saying hello. We have a really interesting one. Our second Marine, I guess you could call Leatherneck. Hey, good morning, Brandon. Thanks for joining us this morning. Everybody's saying hello to everybody in the chat. So we first had Gung Ho, and we had several different Gung Hos. We had the more classified up Gung Ho, and then we had the vintage package retro version of Gung Ho. So we've had several Gung Hos, but now we got a new Marine, and that's Leatherneck. And you can see, look at him there. He looks really grizzly, and there's a little bit of history with Leatherneck. He was designed to look like Ron Rudat, so the face sculpt is like Ron Rudat. So if you've not met Ron Rudat over the years, he's a very, very nice guy. I've met him many times. I've done several interviews with him. But he's designed to look like Ron Rudat. Let's see. Sean Jones. I find this figure boring. Okay. That's an interesting take. We'll find out when we get into it, Sean Jones. Everybody's saying hi to everybody in the chat. So we're gonna go into Dan Klingsman's series of books first. Sean Jones. The one I opened, I used for part of a custom. Oh, you did? Okay. Well, that's fine. You can do that. It's your figure, your toys. You collect the way that you want to collect, Sean Jones. I'm not going to tell you how to collect. It's entirely in your wheelhouse how you collect. Now, this is an interesting design aesthetic for Leatherneck. He looks really different in that art there. If you look at that, I'm going to make sure I can get it without that shine on it. There. He looks really cool in that. He doesn't quite look like the figure in that design, a little bit different. And then there's some ideations and some changes and stuff like that. They upgraded him. They added that mustache to it. And so there is some differences with him, obviously. Hey, same time, Taurus. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. What's good, Dave and everybody? Everybody's saying hello to everybody in the chat. Terrence Childs. Where is an episode of the comic book where Ace is flying a Sky Striker and Wild Weasel is flying a Rattler? Do you have that copy? Yes, I do. It should be in the 30s, I believe. It may be like 37, if I'm not mistaken, Terrence Childs. I'll see if I can get it out before this is over to show you. I have my comics really close. What's up, Shane, my friend? Everybody's saying hello. I think that's issue 35, right? It's very close to that area. I'd have to pull it out, but I'll pull it out at the end of this. Remind me at the end to pull it out, and I'll get it, and I'll find out what issue it is. All right, so we got Leatherneck. So let's see what Dan had to say about Leatherneck. This is volume number 12, G.I. Joe, Creating a Real American Hero by Dan Klingsmith Jr. It says alternate names: Gyrene, Semperfi, Jarhead, and Gunny. Interesting choices. I'm glad we didn't get some of those. Year release 1986, designed by Ron Rudat. Um, HK Viper, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Um, Besides the fact that the card art of Leatherneck resembles Ron, this figure had another personal connection to him. His father served in the United States Marine Corps, 6th Marine Division during World War II. Wow, that's interesting. Putting him in an 8-pointed cover and Marine Corps combat utility uniform with additional ammo pouches, grenades, and knife, Ron designed Leatherneck to be aggressive and intimidating to Cobra forces. So there you go. It looks really good. It's weird looking at it without that mustache. It throws me off a little bit. So that's interesting. Let's see. 610. My bad. Meant to type 34, not 35. Fat fingers. Ah, that's funny. 610 year Joe Daddy. But yeah, we'll find out what issue it is shortly. Let's see. So then we have his card art. The vintage card art. There you go. And you can see that face on there with that big mustache. And if you've ever met Ron Rudat, he looks very similar to that. He has that big mustache and stuff. He's a really cool guy. He's a very good artist. And he does a really good job with this line he did in the 80s. And he's still doing stuff with Operation Recall with Carson. New line of toys that they're making. So then 49 is Leatherneck's first appearance. Obviously, it's the first appearance of quite a few different characters. Everybody's saying hello to everybody in the chat. All right. Oh, excuse me. All right, so then we have the vintage figure. There you go. I have all of his accessories for this one. I had a bit of a hoarse voice today. So there's your Leatherneck, and you can see that mustache on him. He looks very much like Ron Rudat, and then he comes with this cool semi-automatic gun. We'll put that in his hand, and he has a backpack as well. Yeah. And you can see he's got the 5-pointed cover. He's got the backpack and the 5-pointed cover, and he's got some grenades and some different deco. It's a very clean figure. There's no paint scrapes or paint misses. It's solid. It's not that wobbly or anything like that. So there you go. There's your Leatherneck. So we're going to put him back in his little package. One of the best weapons in our line. Same Time Toys. Same Time Toys. Ron's wife is the nicest person you'll ever meet. Yeah, I've met her 4 or 5 times. She's very nice. I've had lunch with her a couple of different times. How's it going, everybody? Dude Stuff 2025. Thank you for joining us today. Love the OG figs. Yep. There you go. So I'm going to put Sean Leatherneck over here. I'm going to save this book because I'm going to show something off in this book in a little while. I'm not going to show it off right this moment. But then we have the original figure. So then we showed off that artwork earlier a little bit. There you go. You can see that serious intent there with him and his target. And you can see that little knife there. And he's 148 in the G.I. Joe classified line. And then we have the QR code to nowhere. We have the target artwork, and we have the designations. So we are going to look at those designations right now and see what they stand for. All right. So we have environmental specialist. It just says that. It's got the light weapons. It's got strength. And then it has environmental specialist jungle. Yep. So those are all his designations, Leathernecks. So then we have the Shooting the Galaxy photography artwork by um, Matt and Mike. There. Do you know if there is another version of Torpedo? What, in the classified line? No, not yet in the classified line. In the original line, there might have been two versions, maybe even three versions of Torpedo going into the 90s, the Real American Hero waves of figures. It might have been another Torpedo after. So there's two or three up till 99 or 2000, I would say. But not in classified, Terrence. 610 Yojo Daddy. One of my favorites as a kid in Ara loved giving his gun to Snake Eyes to reenact the scene from the comics when Snake Eyes stays behind for everyone to escape with Leatherneck's gun and Snake Eyes Uzi. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, I recognize that. Yeah, I remember that. 610 Yojo Daddy. That is a cool cover. You're right. So there's Leatherneck. There's a couple of call outs on there. And then we have a character in the back that's going to be our next character. And that is Dial Tone. You can barely see him back there, but he's the next character in our line. And then there's, it looks like a downed ship of some sort, a big ship back there in this photography. And that looks like all there is in there. And then it has his rank, his insignia, and that call out there on his shoulder, Tampo. So we'll get, and then we have the loadout there, and it says just Leatherneck. It does not give his real name. So I was thinking it might be Ron Leatherneck Rudat or something, but it does not say that. It just says Leatherneck on there. And this is a Joe brand new Joe character that we have not had in the line before. So we are now up to 149 in the classified line, and we have done 00 Snake Eyes on up to 149 or 48, 148, and the stars and stuff on the interior. 148. My apologies. And we've done 21 vintage figures, and we've done 4 legacy and 60th anniversary characters, I believe. So he's a pretty good figure right out of the package. I think he looks really nice, very sturdy, a little bit chunkier than your average figure, a little bit taller than your average figure. So he's definitely in line with the vintage one, very much in line with the vintage one in the height and the design and the deco and aesthetics. One of the few figures I would say they're very, very close to the aesthetic of the camouflage. It's a little bit darker on the classified than it is in the vintage, but that's been something that we've seen, we've come to expect with the classified, the subduing of the color deco and the color scheme of this. So he's a little bit darker in the classified, not much, but a little bit. And then he has that same vest with the grenades, with the khaki, and those that extra green added deco on there with the padding and stuff like that. And he's got a sheath on there, a knife sheath, very similar to his vintage one with that knife sheath and those grenades. Very, very close to that. He's got a secondary harness around his waist that has a holster on his right leg and some like equipment and stuff on his left leg, radio equipment and his canteen and stuff like that. So that's pretty good that they gave him that. He does not, he kind of has a little bit of that with these straps on his lower legs there. His lower legs has straps, but this is higher up and it's attached to his belt. He has the same black shoes. He's got his sleeves rolled up. They're not as rolled up as they were in the vintage. They were only rolled up to about his wrist in the vintage. So they got him always up to his caps up here. And so that's a little different. He does have the watch, I believe. Yeah, he has the watch. On the vintage, the watch on this one is on the same wrist. It's black, though, not silver. There's little details like the straps and stuff and the buckles in there with the dark green to go along with the padding. And then of course he has his cover, and he has his I think it's his sergeant's insignia on there. It's hard to see through that deco, but he also has on his epaulet there on his collar that rank as well. You can see it's a little gold there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. And then there's that tampo again, that weird tampo. It's like a skull with a bunch of stars. It's like an octopus with a bunch of stars on it. So let's see if I can get a good visual of that. Like an octopus with a bunch of stars. Um, and then there's some different padding and stuff like that. He has the green on the knee pads that match the other padding on his secondary. Um, and the camouflage is very reminiscent of the vintage figure, very reminiscent with that. It's just a slightly darker deco, like I said. And the face printing, the cover comes off, and it you can see that face printing on there, and it looks a lot like Ron Rudat, and it's really nice. I think the face printing technology has really improved over the years, and this figure is the third figure in our 2025 lineup, so we're about a year behind, but they're doing really good with these, I must say. Let's see. I love the green fig more in Classified than in Aura. I think they could have made him better in 2025. Oh, okay. You like the lighter colors. You like the lighter deco. You don't like the subdued deco. Yeah, they do that a lot with Classified. They subdue the color deco and they make it a little darker or a little bit more realistic, I guess, might be more of what I'm getting at. Ahoy, Super Dave, Sean. Hey, Lone Dragon, thanks for joining us. Good morning. Everybody's saying happy Friday, Lone Dragon. Tell that to Flint. Just doing some sorting and cleaning. Took pics of everything that came in this week. Probably going to open a few things today. Oh, okay, Lone Dragon. Very cool. I look forward to that. We're getting close to our 250 subs mark. I would like to get you to join me on that if you want to, Lone Dragon. At some point, maybe, when we do that. If you're interested in doing that, excuse all that noise. So we got this little bit of knife with a little bit of deco on it. That can go in his sheath on his secondary. I like how they put a lot of these things upside down. So like it's upside down. So it's tight enough where it doesn't fall out. And then we have his submachine gun. They changed the deco on that. The submachine gun in the vintage was gray. They turned it black for this one. So that is different. Hey, K-Mac user. Thanks for joining us today. I got to get some kind of thing to hold my phone for streaming. Okay. Yeah, they're very easy. You can find little things at like Walmart or whatever that's very cheap, like $15 or something like that to hold your phone. So it's not that difficult. You can get something, Lone Dragon. Someone send me links to the good tripod or something like that. Okay. Good morning, world. Bart Simpson. Skywalker, hey, good morning. Thanks for joining us. So then we have his backpack. His backpack is very reminiscent of the vintage one. The only difference is it has some deco, whereas the vintage one was all like green. This one has some brown deco, and it probably has the buckles and straps. No, it doesn't. Just has the blanket is green and then the rest is brown. So they did change that a little bit. And it's the same deco as the color on his camouflage, so it matches that, which is kind of cool that they stuck with the two color schemes. Let's see. There, we got that in there. His cover keeps falling off. There, right. No, let's see. The backpacks, I wish there was a little bit better of a situation with these backpacks, but it is what it is. I'm going to give him his M16, whatever, not M16, his it looks like a bigger one. It's like an M60 or something like that. It's a much bigger one. There. So I gave him that. Backpack does not want to stay through that secondary. There. So I gave him his gun, and there's still a little tape on it. And the cartridge comes out. The weapons cartridge is removable. So if you wanted to show him doing some stuff, this cartridge here comes out of that M60 or whatever it is. There, put him over there. Let's see, what do we got here? Skydro, let's go, Lone Dragon. Yojo Alone. Everybody's saying hello to everybody in the chat. Good morning, Super Dave and chat. PB11BEE. Good morning. Thanks for joining us in the chat. I appreciate it. Skywalker LFG. PB M203, Super Dave. Okay, M203. Thank you very much. That's one of my weakest things about classified. I don't know all the names of all the weapons. So a lot of the guys in the chat always correct me on the weapons names. Skywalker, the Mutt angry head looks great on the Leatherneck figure. Yeah, it does. It looks very cool. I agree with you. Lone Dragon you got a body for the Hector Ramirez sitting here. Open the head today. Just need a mic. Probably open General Brown today, and maybe two-headed ogre. Wow, some cool stuff. You're gonna do a Hector Ramirez? I think that's a very easy Hector Ramirez. Super 7 did a like a music guy that was part of a music band from the 80s, and his head looks exactly like a Hector Ramirez head. I can't remember who that guy is that's at Super 7. It's an ultimate Super 7 music figure, and he's got like a white suit on, and he's got that black hair with that big mustache, like right out of the 80s. It's perfect for Hector Ramirez head, in my opinion. There, he has this really interesting pistol that looks a little bit new. I don't know. You guys can tell me if this is a new pistol or if it's something we've seen before. It looks slightly new. So I'm going to put that in the holster on the right leg there. There. All right. So that's in there. So that's the end of his accessories. He also came with two, which is very strange, but I guess because he likes to punch things, he came with a set of extra punching hands, which we don't usually get extra hands with the normal line of figures, the regular figures. So that's a little odd that we got two extra hands for him. I'm using the Tony Stark head. Yeah, a lot of people using that Tony Stark head. The Marvel Legends one, yeah. I took his glasses and put them on Night Force Shockwave. Ah, very cool. How many did you get? 66. G.I. Joe 66 Delta 17. Can you change heads and make army builders of him? Are you guys talking in the chat about the Iron Man. I'm back. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Woody. How's it going? I saw you at the very beginning. You didn't have to leave. You could have stayed. I was just getting things ready. I started pretty soon after that. Um, so we got Leatherneck with all of his accessories. Kind of. I don't like this backpack the way that it's going through the secondary. I'm trying to get it to stay in there tighter, but it doesn't seem to want to. So it's a little bit weird. But he looks really good. It looks like he's right on the LCS. He's ready to attack in the woods or the jungle or whatever. He's preparing to get some cobras there. Everybody's saying hello. Everybody's uh, hanging out. Lone Dragon, Woody, I was just about to pack one up myself. Let's see. Uh, no packing until after 3 p.m. for me. I'm still working. Okay. So you guys all talking in the chat. That's fine. So let's go into some of the details of this. He's got his, it looks like his sergeant stripes there on that tampo. He's got the ankle articulation on the foot here. He does not have the secondary ankle. It looks like they cut that out of this figure. He does have the wrist articulation. He's got the butterflied shoulders, the double pin elbows, the double pin knees, the crotch and leg articulation. He does have a secondary ab crunch there. He's got the head rocker articulation. He's got the ab and thigh calf articulations as well. So he's got most of them. They did cut out the secondary ankle and the secondary wrist, and he does have the bit of the flexi wrist articulation there. Strictly Cobra. Hello, you're a new person in the chat. Thank you for joining us. What's cracking, y'all? How you like your new name? Who is this? Anyone use his bracelet? Who's Strictly Cobra? Punk Neck. You're right, Woody. He looks like Lawrence. Who are you, Strictly Cobra? He looks very nice. Just your average figure. They did a very good job keeping it very strictly vintage, very close to the vintage. So I doubt we'll get another Leatherneck unless we get Giraffe Leatherneck, which I thought that Giraffe Leatherneck was awful. Oh, man. ITD me Gunpowder Nitro. Oh, it's Gunpowder Nitro. You changed your name, Strictly Cobra, from Gunpowder Nitro. Why is that? Why did you change your name? Yep. He sure does look punk with toys. Punk with toys. If he were a little shorter, it would be Lawrence. Spot on. Yeah, Punk with Toys. He's a really cool guy. I'm going to be on his show, Punk with Toys Friends on Thursday. I'm going to be in an episode coming up, I think in February for that. So keep an eye out for that, guys, and tune in and give me a hard time or give Punk a hard time, whatever you want. But I'm going to be on his show Thursday with Friends. One of those episodes coming up. So they did a really good job with this Leatherneck. There's a lot of really nice detail, and that secondary they gave a lot more detail than they did in the vintage one, and the back of it, and as well with the secondaries and the holsters and stuff like that. So I think it stands out. I wouldn't say it's like 10 out of 10 or anything. Definitely tune in. Thank you very much. LMAO, how short is he? He's like 5'5" or something, right? Five something. Sick, can't wait. Cool. Thank you. Yes, sir, Lone Dragon. Woody nailed it. Yep. All right. So let's get a stand for him. We'll put him on a stand, and then we will talk about a couple other things that are going on. Um, so let's see. We can get this. Well, he's difficult to get on his stand. So it looks like we got him on. I'm just gonna get him really tight. All right, so we'll move his feet a little bit. All right, so there's your Leatherneck with his extra hands there. So a little bit of Tom Cruise height. Yep. Let's see. He'll be quick to tell you he's taller than Seth Green. I've met Seth Green 2 or 3 times. Oh, there he goes. I've met Seth Green 2 or 3 times, and he may be right. Seth Green is quite short. He might be like 5'4", Seth Green, and Punk might be maybe an inch and a half taller than him. If you stand them together, I think Seth Green is a smidge shorter. The difference is, Seth Green has much bigger hair, because he has a beard and extra hair, and Punk is bald, and so that throws the heights off. I use his bracelets on him. Not sure who asked. Oh, there you go. What was I saying? Let me just put him over here. All right. So let's see. We're going to show something. This is an interesting thing because you can find it. When the Hasbro team went to Brazil this past Christmas time in December, there was a situation there where they said there was going to be some new reveals because there was a panel with all the Hasbro people, Star Wars, Marvel Legends, Classified, Transformers, and they were going to have some new reveals and some new information and things like that. And so everybody was speculating that I think Seth Green is like 5'4", maybe. I could be wrong. Cruz is like 5'6" at the most. Okay. And then I thought he was 5'5" for sure. LMAO. Okay. It's weird. 6'10". IMO. I'm a. I am a. But so when they went to Brazil, we thought that we were going to get something revealed because it made sense that they were in Brazil. Maybe we would get something that was obvious because we've gotten all the figures that go with Mission Brazil, and Leatherneck is the first of that line of figures that went into that series, that subgroup. Oops. That subgroup of Mission Brazil. And so we thought, oh, okay, maybe they're going to show the entire Mission Brazil, or maybe they'll show Claymore, or they might show something else that's connected to that because they were in Brazil. So we were connecting dots that really weren't there. So that goes to what we were talking about yesterday. Some of the rumors, some of the things, speculation, and having fun and stuff like that. Because there wasn't a lot of news in December at that point. It was like mid December, like the 16th or something like that, right? I've Leatherneck display with wetsuit, imagining they are arguing, getting ready to fight. Yeah, because they're brothers, right? Wetsuit and Leatherneck are brothers in the Sunbow animated. Leatherneck got his first appearance in animation in Arise, Serpentor Arise, episode 1. And that's he was a major character in the second season of the Sunbow animated series after that. It is Sean reminds me of one of those balance bracelets. My half brothers is 7'2", and my half brothers are 6'8" and 6'4". Oh, cool! Wow, you got a lot of brothers. GI Joe 66 Delta. Yeah, from the 90s infomercials. Sean Jones. Google says Cruz is 5'7" and Green is 5'4". Exactly, Sean Jones. 610 Yo Joe Daddy. 80s infomercials, Sean Jones. All right. So in Brazil, we thought that we were going to get this lineup, this subgroup, teased some way with either Claymore or one of the redecos of these guys, or all of them, but we didn't get any of it. So I thought that was very strange that they went to Brazil and they didn't have anything to offer. And somebody even did an interview with them about doing and asked Emily a question. Emily was one of the ones that was there, and they asked her a question about that. They said, look, you're in Brazil. Is there a possibility we can get some more foreign characters like Cobra Mortal, Cobra Deleco, Mission Brazil, all these type of things, more international characters and themes? And she says, now that we're in Brazil, we notice there's such a large audience for G.I. Joe. That's something we're going to think more of down the line. And they did do Glenda, who is Argentinian, and they did Quarrel, which is part of the International Action Force team, and they did Tiger Force Outback already. So now that they're going to Brazil, they're going to Italy, they're going to England, I think we may be getting a lot more foreign figures and foreign themed ideas in the classified line. What in those arenas around the globe, Fun School, there was so many really cool Fun School variations with Lady J as what is that? Canary Ann, and a whole bunch of other characters in Fun School in the Middle East. There's so many different variations of the characters. What variations, what foreign international characters would you guys like to see in the classified line? Something unique, something that might stand out. I really want to see Moonraker. I think it's Moonraker. No, that's the James Bond movie. Moon Dancer. I want to see a Moon Dancer. Kangar, that would be a really cool figure. That would be what, a redeco of Repeater, if I'm not mistaken. Cobra Mortal, yep. That's a very easy one. Just take Snake Eyes and redeco it and give it some nice shiny silver on it. Yep, that's an easy one to do. Cobra Mortal. What other stuff would you guys like that's international, foreign, from around the globe, that you think would be a cool classified figure? Because I'm curious, because there's so much. We've barely hit the surface of the American G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, and stuff from the modern era, from the 2000 till now. Imagine adding all those foreign characters in there as well, and which ones would be an easy redeco. Yes, Kangar is a big boa redeco, very easy. See, that's what I'm talking about. Urser is repeater. Okay. Um, Kraken. Oh yeah, Kraken would be really nice. Um, So yeah, I would love to see a lot of those. I would like to see Jammer. I would like to see Gaucho to go along with Quarrel and maybe some of those guys. Definitely some of the international characters like you guys have mentioned, Urser, Kangor, and Corvo Mortal. I want to see Canada flag stuff on your Canada stuff. Um, is there any Canadian Joes? I don't think Big Ben is. I think he's British. I'm trying to think of Red Red Star is Russian. Who else? Who else is foreign? Latal. There you go. Latal would be a good one. So there you guys, you're getting into what I'm talking about. Some of these are really cool characters, international characters that are not part of the regular team. Obviously, we're gonna probably get Dana because she's a October Guard member, but she's Russian. And there's so many other ones in Palatoy and Action Force International forces that we, if they just peppered one a year or one every couple years, one or twice a year or something, I think that would be helpful. And because they're very easy to deco, if you take the other versions, in the case of like Jammer, Gaucho, Canary Ann, and Corva Mortal, Corva Deleco, all that stuff, even the Red Ninja and those type of guys, I think it wouldn't be that bad to stick them in a wave of 5 figures with a redeco. Backstop is Canadian. Oh, okay, that's very cool. I want to get a lot of those astronauts because that's one of my favorite groups of GI Joe. I love space and I love Star Brigade and all the astronaut stuff. So I hope we get Backstop and all those guys. I want them to do Eagle from Battle Action Force so bad, and a Gaucho repaint of Gung Ho. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Eagle would be exactly the type of character that you could do a redeco of, because he's what, Flash or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on that. 610 Yojo Daddy. Uh, I don't know a lot about the international characters. I know some of them, but I don't know all of them. But yeah, I think we've just barely touched our toe in international figures. I'm not sure if we ever would get Red Laser and Black Major type stuff. Or any of that. I don't know if they would do that or not. They own all that, so I don't see why we couldn't get those characters. But Super 7 did 5 or 6 of them, and I was very happy about that. I'm still missing 2 of them, the Ultimate Red Jackal and Red Knock Baroness that were exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con. They sold out on Big Bad Toy Store and San Diego before I could get them. So it was a difficult time at that point trying to get everything. So I did miss those. So if anybody has a Red Jackal and a Red Knock, Super 7 Ultimates figures that they would like to part with for a decent price, let me know. Contact me on Instant Messenger, David T. Allen, okay? I would like to get both of those to add to my my Super 7 Ultimates to have a complete set. Eagle was a 5 POA Palatoy mold. It would be an all new build. Oh, because yeah, you're right. He was all black and he had the green beret, right? He's one of those guys. I may have that as a single figure. One of these days, I should do a Palatoy episode and talk about the classified Palatoy figures and international figures because I have about, I would say, 50 Palatoy figures loose. I don't have all their equipment and stuff because it's too expensive to try and get them all mint or complete or whatever. So I do have a bunch of loose ones. I got it from some of my friends from Ireland that came to Joe Fest last year, and I've gotten them from my friend Irving Santiago at UltraCon down in Palm Beach. Florida. His show is down there. Palm Beach, Florida. Oh yeah, Eagle was an SAS. Yep, I do recall that now. 610 Yojo Daddy. Um, so what other cool stuff? There's a lot of redecos of vehicles too. Do you think we would ever get the Cobra Hiss tank all in red with maybe an all red HMS or MMS to go along with it? Would we get a red Vamp, or um, a Ram, a black Ram motorcycle, or was it? No, it was green actually. It was a green Ram, a black Vamp, right? So what do you guys think about all that? What kind of vehicles do you think we could do with a lot of the stuff? We got a lot of the vehicles that were redecoed in Palatoy, so I think we could get some of this stuff. Um, but it's an interesting thing, this international heroes situation. Um, Red Hiss is almost a given. Yep, I think you're right. It's just a matter of time. The problem is, um, Carlos. Hey, Carlos Salinas. Thanks for joining us again. It's good to have you back. Um, the thing about that is I hope they don't do a Hiss every year, because that's going to get expensive to try and do another HasLab Hiss release like the Arctic one. I hope they maybe do like every other year, maybe a Hiss, so we get a GI Joe MTS vehicle like this year, maybe the Tiger Force, Tiger Rat, or no, the Tiger Fly, and then maybe next year do another Hiss, and then another GI Joe redeco, or maybe the Snowcat, and maybe another Cobra one, maybe the Cobra Rat with the Rattler as a Dragonfly Tiger Force version. I don't know. Uh, I'd like to see a red snake armor. Yeah, I think you could do that. Now that we got the snake armor, I'm sure we're going to get more snake armors. They're going to want to use that tooling again. We got the blue one, we got the red one, possibly a G.I. Joe one, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Make the Palatoy stuff made to order. Yeah, made to order. There you go. That would be good. I agree with you on that. Arctic Hiss was originally in the plan line as a Crimson Hiss before the snow theme line plan changed it to Arctic. That's true. They did mention they were thinking about doing a Crimson for the Crimson Guard, not Palatoy per se, but a Crimson Guard Hiss, which I would have loved. I think that would have been great, because we got a lot of Crimson Guard figures. We still got one more Crimson Guard on the way, and there's like 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. 10, 11. So that'll be 12 Crimson Guard figures. Hey, Lenny Honda, good morning. Thanks for joining us again. I appreciate it. So yeah, there's gonna be 12 Crimson Guard figures, characters. Dreadnought snake armor would be awesome too. Yeah, the paint it up and make it look like it's damaged and graffiti all over it, and maybe some weird stuff like Dreadnought's rule and all that type of stuff. Yeah, that would be really cool too. Something different. I'm sure we're gonna be getting new different stuff. I believe we're getting an all new Joe and all new Cobra this year at some point, and it'll probably be in the 5-figure lineups. Most likely as we go along. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm guessing, so they can fill those 5-figure slots with some other stuff, redecos and reconfigures of characters with different decos and different names and things like that. So I think that is a given on those type of characters, and I think that's where you can add a lot of these international characters. Jammer is a Stalker redeco, Gaucho is a Gung Ho redeco, and some of these other decos, like the Cobra Mortals, the Snake Eyes redeco, and Sky Dancer is a Flash and a Grand Slam redeco. Anything Dreadnought is awesome, Carlos. Yep, I agree with you. I like the decos that they gave the Dreadnought vehicles back in the 80s. We haven't really gotten that yet for Classified, and I think it's very, very sad that we haven't gotten those cool teals and purples and stuff. We haven't gotten any vehicles for them. I'm hoping that Swamp Skier that's rumored to come with Zanya is similar in those decos. I hope, and that'll get us into those waters of that deco. We'll see. I'm back. Sorry, I had to go do my time here at work. Oh, strictly Cobra. Okay, that's fine. Nitro. Thanks for coming back. So there's a lot of stuff that we can get international and foreign that I think if they did one or two a year, I think it would be fine. Because now that we're getting these 5-figure waves, it just makes sense that you would throw one of those things in each wave, something like that, a redeco, a reimagining with a redeco of someone else's figure, like they're doing with this new Cobra, new Joe, and then maybe an international or something like that. Maybe we'll get all of European Mission Brazil that way as well. We'll get all the redecos of Leatherneck, Dial Tone, Mainframe, Wetsuit, and possibly Claymore that way as well, which would be 100% all new deco, but it would be really cool to get those, you know? I don't know if they would do a whole set of Mission Brazil and somehow come up with maybe a CD with an animated cartoon or episode similar to the video cassette. I don't know if they would go to that trouble to do that, but I think it would be totally awesome to get an animated cartoon of that and have them include it. If they did a San Diego Comic-Con set, that would be really, really, really out there and top notch on the Hasbro team if they could do something like that. But you know, we'll have to wait and see. So that is our Leatherneck. So we have another one of our characters from this time frame coming up next, and that is number 149. And this is a very interesting character because it took a very long time for most of us to get this figure, and it was delayed because of the factories were switching, and somewhere along the way they switched this character to the other factory. I would love a Swamp Fire capture. There you go. I would love that as well. So this character has a little bit of a history in the classified line because of that switching and stuff like that. So I'm sure you guys will probably figure out who the next one is, 149. And then we got some cool new vehicles in the classified line coming after that. So we got some fun discussions coming up. Dreadnought Snake with giant chainsaw hand. Awesome. That would be awesome. And have it like maybe like some bandage where they have it bandaged on and it's strapped on. It's not like it doesn't have a plug or something like that. You can like have it wrapped up. So that's the type of thing that the Dreadnoughts would do. Let's see. Mission Brazil could be done in a 2-pack and 3-pack, kind of like how we are getting the Slaughter's Renegades. Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to do it. Think outside the box. I like that, Carlos Salinas. A digital download. There you go. A digital download for an animated cartoon with Mission Brazil. Maybe that would be something too. You could include some sort of thing that you could include with that. And the same thing with the Listen and Fun Tripwire. The same way, you could do both of them like that. Better dial 149 up next, Dave. Yep, there you go. You got it, 610 Yojo Daddy. I need 2 Arctic asps to pull behind my Arctic Hiss tanks. Now that's interesting. Do you think we're going to get something else, another pullable to do with the Arctic, to go along with the Arctic Assault Hiss? I haven't heard that discussed that much. I've seen people do some mock-ups with vehicles and stuff like that, but I haven't really seen it discussed that much. But the Arctic Assault Hiss, do you think we will get a vehicle to go along with it, since we have the MMS and the HMS to go along with the Joe vehicles? That's a good point. Gunpowder Nitro or strictly Cobra. You switched back. Yeah, the asp is fairly low-hanging fruit. It's been redecoed probably 10 times, and everybody wants that. So I'm guessing we will get it. It's just a matter of tooling, budget, and time, since they've done couple of new vehicles last year, two or three new vehicles with the Snake Armor, the Claw, the Oz Striker last year, and the Snowcat. So every year we're going to probably get some new vehicles, and then we'll get some redecos. And there's some rumors of some redecos, obvious of the Ferret, the Trouble Bubble are going to get a couple of redecos this year. And we got the Arctic Assault Hiss. So we're going to get a new HasLab probably. That'll be new. And then we'll probably get some medium vehicles. And I think the Asp is the perfect vehicle to give us in that medium scale. We'll probably get $100 vehicle, maybe something like a Shark or a Water Moccasin. And then we'll get some redecos and probably maybe the Thunder Machine. So that's where I'm looking at vehicles that might be coming next year in this year's arena. And those are all low-hanging fruits, you know. The Thunder Machine, we've been rumored for a while. The Water Moccasin, we need that. The Shark, we need that, you know. Hopefully the Mare as a HasLab, and then redecos of some of the vehicles we've already got, like the Trouble Bubble and the Ferret. Man, we need to ask periodic. Great show today, Dave. Thank you very much, 610 Yojo Daddy. I'd like to see the Whirlwind in classified. Yeah, you've said that several times, or maybe it was someone else that said that, Carlos Salina. I don't see us getting the Whirlwind because I don't think there's a reuse there on the Whirlwind. But you never know which name you like better, Dave. And yes, we need Arctic pull behinds. I like Gunpowder Nitro better, actually. Hello, everybody. Hey, Paul Morales. Thanks for joining us again in the chat. I appreciate it. You came at the pretty much the end of this, but I do appreciate you joining. You can go back and watch it in the replay crew if you'd like. Paul Morales. I'd like to see the Firebat as a medium vehicle. Oh yeah, we're getting the Firebat. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of how they do that. If it's going to be included in possible play sets that are part of that Firebat with a Terradrome type theme where you can get a HasLab Terradrome piece of the pie, and then if you wanted to get 5 HasLabs, you would get 5 pieces of the pie to build an entire Terradrome. It would be absolutely huge to buy 5 Terradromes, but that's the only way I see them doing the Terradrome. And then each unlock is a different compartment on the bottom. So you can do a vehicle repair shop. You can do a ramp and thing for the Ferret. You can do a prison. You can do something else for 2 or 3 of these unlocks. That's the only way I see us getting a Terradrome. But I would love that. And then have, when you put them all together, there's a launching mechanism that you could put the Firebat, and the Firebat comes out that year with the driver as well. That's how I would do it if I was them, but who knows? Paul Morales saying hello to everybody in the chat. Paul, what's up, brother? Paul, Woody, Paul. How are ya? Everybody's doing good. Carlos, how are Joe Bros doing? All right. So, yeah, so if they end up getting to that point where they do it, it would need to be like they did with the in Star Wars, the that big ship, or no, the Death Star playset, which was a pizza. It was kind of cut off on the end a little bit, but you could do that. You could cut it off, do it the same way, have a little piece of the top to be something that you could hold the Firebat on it. And then as you do all 5 parts, you could put the Firebat at different angles, right? And then you have the computer console with some chairs on the top and some different things around the edge of where the Firebat would launch. And you have it sit on top of that. And then the second tier, you can have like a fold out gun, and you can have that turret on there on the top, and you can put a figure in that turret. And then you have some other fold out little things on the front of it with a figure could sit in that. And then you have that compartment, like I said, that would be something that you would have to unlock the tiers to get to those different compartments and stuff like that. That's the perfect way to do a Terradrome. We would all be buying 5 Terradromes, so it would be like one of those money grabs for them. The problem is, how expensive would it be? I hope they would try to keep it to a 250 range at the cheapest. The Death Star playset, yes, yes sir, love it. Yeah. So if I was Hasbro, that's how I would do a Terradrome. I know you guys want a Terradrome, but you're not going to be able to get a full Terradrome. There's no way they're going to be able to do that. The only way to do it is to make it a a modular section, pizza pie section of the Terradrome, and then you can buy as many as you want. And there's a 5 Terradrome, there's a 5 HasLab limit, and you could do 1 section, 2 section, 3 section, 4 and 5, and there's your pizza pie. Uh, and I know everybody keeps saying I should be working for Hasbro because I come up with all these great ideas and stuff like that, but this is stuff that's like common sense. That how else would you do it, right? In order to get a Terradrome that's going to be like this friggin' big for classified with ladders and all the detail around it, it's not feasible to do the whole thing. Yeah, that's a good idea. Buy a section at a time. There you go. Yep. So whatever you want, if you want to just do like the front of the Terradrome, you could buy 3. If you want to just do the normal 1 pizza pie just to have something to do, then you buy the 1. Or like me, I buy 2. So I'm going to end up with 2 of the pizza pies. So it'll have the front and I'll have 2, and I can still do my fire bat on it later on. Uh, Dave, send them a resume. Yeah. I don't know what the resume would be. That I love G.I. Joe and I can come up with very imaginative ideas. Doing good. Sean Jones, I would say I'm a good customer service representative because I do talk to a lot of customers and I deal with a lot of customer service and I handle a lot of that. And I'm a nice guy. You guys seem to think I'm a nice guy, outgoing, friendly, very, kind of verbose, I would say, and very affluent, not affluent, what's chatty and like I can bring up a conversation very easily, talk about a lot of stuff. Public relations, there you go. I'll go sign up as a public relations person for Hasbro, and then give him my GI Joe classified ideas in the hallway as I pass Lenny and Tony and Emily and BMAC. Hey, have you ever thought of doing a piece of pie a section like the old Death Star, and see if they take? Hey, that's a good idea, Dave. I really can see that happening. Battle of Geonosis was reused for Cobra Mountain. There you go. See? So there is a lot of interesting stuff that you could do. The new Joe and Cobra will be in the Verse 2-pack. Oh, you think it's going to be a 2-pack? What makes you say that, James Soliver 2542? You're a new person in the chat. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, because I was talking about some leaks that came out yesterday, and there was a leak for the new Joe and new Cobra that we were to be getting them soon. And that would be cool. I like the Versus packs. I like we just did a review of the Twilight Guard and the Steel Core Commander not too long ago. And I like the fact that they had a Joe versus Cobra. I think that was fun. So do it, Dave. If you get hired, that would make all of us insiders. There you go. It would. You guys would all be my insiders. I would have to come up with a code name, though, and some good input to the Joe team. Yeah, I think it would be fun. What code name should I use if I am going to be a leaker of ideas? When I do Super Dave, I think you guys know who that is. I'd have to come up with another one. That would be great. Cobra Mountain, Carlos, not Rachel Salinas. All right, guys. I think we've chatted enough on this. Because we got last year the Gold Core Twilight Guard, they hinted they might be keeping that standard. Oh yeah, that's right. I do remember in one of the interviews, one of the panels, they answered that question. You're right. And see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Getting these little tidbits from these interviews, these panels, all this stuff, you can pretty much detective this stuff out and figure this stuff out and come up with some theories and ideas and stuff like that. So it's fun. I love that. I love this whole idea of talking about this stuff. Codename Loose Lips. Carlos Salinas. That would be funny. Oh man. That would be really funny, but I look forward to it. So, like I said, we got another cool Joe new character coming up next, and there's some interesting uh, classified info with this character. You could go Watergate and be Deep Throat Dave. There you go. In more ways than one, that actually is apropos 610 Yojo Daddy. And maybe I'm giving away too much there. But oh well. A little personal there. But thank you guys all in the chat. This has been a fun episode. I love chatting with you guys. And I love adding your questions and your comments and discussing that and enjoying the conversation and you guys adding to that conversation. It's phenomenal and fun. Hey, it's Clement. You just joined us, and I'm about to end this, Clement. You came at the very end. We're talking about Leatherneck. Here, let me at least show you the figures so you can at least see them. Leatherneck, Ron Rudat, designed after the designer Ron Rudat, who did most of the figures from 82 to 87, with the exception of a few figures and a couple of big vehicle drivers, but he did most of the figures, Clement. Thanks for the coffee, Joe chat boys. See you all tomorrow. Hi, Clem. There you go. You too, Sean Jones. Take care. So I also want to say thank you to everybody in the replay crew. Go back and watch this if you came at the very end, Clement and a couple of the guys. And I really appreciate it. Share these videos if you can. Help us grow this channel. We're trying to get to the 250 subs mark and then eventually the 1,000. And that helps us the most right now is sharing these videos to get some more folks involved here. I'm late to the party too. Oh, Keegan Collins. Sorry about that. Yeah, go back and watch it in the replay crew, okay? It was a fun episode. Yo, Joe. And you guys, I got my new shirt from Super 7, and it says, Yo, Joe. Paul, Lone Dragon. Thanks. See you guys next time.